schools, not policing in schools. Our next speaker is Julia Evangelisto. Gender pronoun she, her, is a parent advocate as part of a grassroots community, speaking up for children with disabilities to access the supports they need at school. She is a co-founder of Ontario Parents for Education Support. Through their network, they share family experiences, highlighting unmet and under-supported needs, rising exclusions, and the need for timely support, proper resources, and inclusive learning environments. Julia?
I'm here today as a parent of children with disabilities and as part of Ontario Parents for Education Support, a grassroots network of families across this province advocating for our children's right to equal access to education. Our children rely on consistent education workers, structured environments, and specialized instruction to succeed and thrive. Right now, there are too many of our children that are being left without that, and instead of proactively investing in the supports they need, we are seeing a shift towards reactive responses like those proposed in Bill 33. When schools and boards don't have the supports that all kids need, the impact is immediate and it affects everyone. If inclusion is the goal, then proactive investments in staffing and other resources must be put in place to make it happen, not just call it in name only. Yet year after year, we are seeing reductions in EAs, CYWs, special education teachers, and the closure of special education classes. This is not restricted to one board or a few boards. This is something we are seeing happen across this province. Families are left without real options. Children are placed in mainstream classes without the intensive support they need, navigating environments that are too busy, too loud, and too crowded. Pressure builds and situations escalate. But what is often mislabeled as student violence is, in reality, our children in distress, whose needs are not being met. What is reported as student-related injuries is not a crisis of students. It is a failure to adequately support them. A child in meltdown needs support, and they need trained educators and professionals to be available to them when they need it. They do not need the police. Instead of addressing the lack of supports in our schools by investing in smaller class sizes, education workers, and specialized supports, this government is choosing a different response. Bill 33 moves us further away from what works for our children and closer to responses that do not support them, do not understand their disabilities, and do not make our schools any safer. Parents know this is not what our kids need. We know that safety comes from prevention, from having the right people and supports in place before a crisis happens. And it means recognizing that safe, healthy schools are built by supporting students, not by introducing measures that do not address the root causes of under-supported children and youth. We know that this should mean investing in the people and supports that prevent crises in the first place, not responding after they happen. So when police are brought into a situation and into student situations instead of educational professionals, we have to ask, how will this play out? Students with invisible disabilities are already more likely to be misunderstood. That risk increases for students who are racialized. For the children of Black, Brown, Indigenous, and other racialized parents, how will your child be impacted? What will this mean for all of our children? As a mother of biracial children with disabilities, I know the way my children are perceived will change as they get older. When they are overwhelmed, dysregulated, and struggling to cope, those moments are more likely to be seen as defiance of them instead of distress. That reality is terrifying. When my child becomes overwhelmed in their classroom, when there are too many students and not enough qualified adults to support them, and the situation escalates as they try to manage, will the response be more support or police? When there are no additional educational assistants, child and youth workers, or other educators available, no space where a child can safely regulate, when the specialized supports and settings students rely on are not available, and the situation calls for de-escalation, understanding, and care. Will the response be extra support or police? And when behaviors connected to disability, anxiety, trauma, or unmet needs that are misunderstood or not yet recognized, when our children are communicating in ways that are not always verbal and are struggling in a system that expects them to adapt instead of responding to their needs, will the response be timely support or police? Because these are not rare moments. Excuse me. They are happening every day. Our children do not need more reaction. They are the right supports and caring adults in place. They need the right supports and caring adults in place from the start. Right now, we are seeing a system respond to our children instead of supporting them. We are seeing their unmet needs turn into crises, and then being told that the solution is more policing. We reject that. If this government is serious about safe and inclusive schools, then the path forward is clear. Invest in the staff, the supports, and the specialized program our children need to succeed. Build a system that responds to children with understanding, not enforcement. Because our children are not problems to manage. They are students to support, to teach, and to help grow. And they deserve to be met with care and dignity, not control. And if we truly believe that, then the path forward is clear. Fund our schools, not policing in schools. Thank you.
Repeal Bill 33 and fund our schools, not